Okay, thanks again for staying with us on the show this morning on ITV. Lovely Monday morning. And anytime you hear someone has a kidney challenge, many times people just conclude that's the end of the person's life. But with technology, with science, advancement in medicine, that's totally not correct. Maybe we can say that for sure about what's obtainable in the developed countries, but back home, that doesn't seem to be the case. Once there is a diagnosis of a kidney challenge, it looks like a death sentence, except a miracle happens or the person is worthy enough to go for a transplant. Many times, even when the transplant is done, some say it's even more challenging because you've got to manage it effectively and efficiently to be able to get the best out of that person. And if the resources are not there, post-transplant can even be more debilitating compared to pre-transplant or at the time that the person is suffering from the disease. So today on the show, we just want to learn some stuff from a kidney transplant survivor, Abraham Jackson. Abraham, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, let me just let me get the conversation on by looking at some of the global facts about kidney disease. It says 10% of the population worldwide is affected by chronic kidney disease, and millions die each year because they do not have access to affordable treatment. So you can imagine the numbers. And then according to the 2010 Global Burden of Disease Study, chronic kidney disease was ranked 27th in the list of causes of total number of deaths worldwide in 1990, but rose to 18th in 2010. This degree of movement up the list was second only to that for HIV and AIDS. Over 2 million people worldwide currently receive treatment with dialysis or a kidney transplant to stay alive. Yet this number may only represent 10% of people who actually need treatment to live. Of the 2 million people who receive treatment to kidney failure, the majority are treated in only 5 countries: United States, Japan, Germany, Brazil, and Italy. These 5 countries represent only 20% of the world population. Only 20% are treated in about 100 developing countries that make up over 50% of the world population. More than 80% of all the patients who receive treatment for kidney failure are in affluent countries with universal access to health care and large elderly population. It is estimated that the number of cases of kidney failure will increase disproportionately in developing countries such as China and India, where the number of elderly people are increasing. But interestingly, back home, the numbers are increasing and the people are suffering seriously from kidney failure. So let's start off with you. I mean, this is a global problem.
Yes, sir.
Do you reside in Nigeria or you live abroad?
Yeah, no, I live in abroad.
Yeah, which country specifically?
I live in Italy.
You live in Italy. How long have you been in Italy?
I've been, I think, about 18 years now.
Wow, you're more or less like a citizen there now.
Yeah.
I'm already a citizen.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so how did you get to find out that you had a kidney challenge? Was it a single kidney or the double kidneys?
The double. What happened was that I came to Nigeria in 2010, and I discovered that my body was getting swollen. So when I got back, I decided to visit a specialist. And I was told that the kidneys are not functioning very well, that I have to do some treatment very quickly. So I started taking some drugs, and after some time, because what they do, when they see that the situation is very dicey, they tell you to come every three months to do some kind of analysis to check how the kidneys are doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from the 3 months, They told me that it's too bad that I need to be coming every month so that they can be able to know the kind of drugs that is fit to it.
Okay.
So after some time, they told me that I have to go into dialysis because if I should keep waiting, he might lead to death. So, and I was told to do dialysis because normal dialysis that is standard, because I heard that people do it once in a week here.
Yes.
It's supposed to be 3 times in a week. Sometimes
Three times in a week?
Yeah, that is a standard dialysis.
Practice.
Yes, and it takes 4 to 5 hours. Depends on your size. When you are large in size, you have to do more than 4 to 5 hours. So when you are a little bit like 17 in your weight, you do like 3 hours, 30 minutes. So you will do it for after maybe 3 months, they have to recheck you if everything is in order. But the good thing about it is the government there, they support a lot because your transportation to the hospital, they will calculate your kilometer from your house to the place. They have to reimburse you your money for
Okay,
that.
now I'll come back to that particular point.
interesting.
Yes, I'll come back to that particular point. You said something about the number of dialysis a patient is supposed to have in a week, not
Yeah.
once weekly.
No,
3
no.
times in a week.
Some persons 3 is not even enough because there is an emergency standby medical personnel. When you feel that you're uncomfortable, just call. Even after the 3rd one, you can call them because when the liquid is too much in your body, you start getting you start getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Your brain and everything will start giving you signs. So in that process, you have to call the emergency line, and they will send an ambulance immediately to take you down to the hospital to take out the toxin and all that.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Is it possible for someone to live on dialysis continuously?
Yes, yes, it's possible. I saw people who spend 40 to 50 years in dialysis.
Really?
40 to 50 years
Before they can
continuous
yes,
dialysis.
because what they do, the drugs that you take will protect you so that other infections will not come. Like the equipment they use, like the water is a sack water they put in a sack so that it will not be contaminated. So I imagine how they can get such water here, because in dialysis you need a very clean water.
Clean water. Pure
Very
water.
pure. If
Yes.
the water is not clean, because there's a company that is responsible to make
The production of that water.
Yeah. So you don't just put water in a tank and transfer it to the body. It will cause bring other problems. So like the machines that is taking care of the patient, they also have their treatment. Once in a month, they have to do a dialysis on the machines if it's capable of doing something good.
Okay, let's quickly look at what stage did you now carry out the transplant?
Yeah,
How many months after?
not months. What happened is before you can go for the list, it is like a list. Yeah, it's a gradual list. You put your name there. Before you do that, they will check you if that is the only problem that you have.
Okay.
If that is the only problem, you are qualified to do a transplant. But if you have other health challenges that are very dangerous, some people might have cancer, HIV, all those kind of deadly diseases. They don't risk it to put the kidney on the person. So they will check you from your head to your toe to make sure that you don't have something that is dangerous before they will do it. And you have to be on the list. They will check your blood group if it can match, because they want to make sure that once it's done, it's done. Not that you will do it and it will fail. No, they want to do everything. DNA is 70 to 80% guarantee.
That to succeed.
Yeah, to succeed, because if not, they will not do it. So in my case, I spent close to 10 years in dialysis.
10 years.
Yes.
That's before you carried out the operation.
Yes.
Why the wait?
Why the wait? Because we have a lot of people that is on list.
On the queue.
On the queue,
Waiting
yes.
For donors.
For the donors, people sometimes they don't want to donate because sometimes there are different kinds of donor. People that died on accident, people can just voluntarily come and say, okay, I have 2 because you can survive with 1.
Yes.
I just want to give 1 out. In the south where I live, a lot of people are ignorant of it, but in the north, people are getting their awareness. When their person had an accident, they give it freely. But some of them still live on this tradition that when you remove it from somebody, that person might be losing the, you know, when that person come back to life, he will die, you know. So they refuse to. But now it's getting better.
Okay.
It's getting better now. So when I did my own, there was, after about a month, there was, because there is a lot of complication after the transplant. You know, the urine block, because during the dialysis, there's a time you get to in dialysis, you cannot urinate anymore.
Really?
It will stop completely on its own. So it is the machine that will now be extracting the water, your system. So after the operation, I started urinating again, and after some time, the thing blocked. So I have to do the operation the second time.
Wow.
You know, the doctor said they have to go there because like there's a blockage in the
urinary tract.
Yes, so they have to retrieve it again. You know, in this process, the good thing about it is that when you are there, you have a psychologist that will be following you up, because sometimes people are discouraged, they want to commit suicide because of the stress.
Depression.
Yeah, depression and all that. The psychologist will call you, will ask you what's your problem. If you're like, for me, I have 4 kids. They'll tell you if you are having economic situation, they might put you on emergency pension level. They start paying you monthly. Yeah, they pay for your transportation, they pay for everything, the treatment, the drugs. There's an injection I take now. It costs about 6,000 euro in a month, every 28 days.
6,000 euro.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to convert that into naira for people to appreciate.
It is just God, because they have their people also who are in need of it. But just God's Bible said everything works together for good for those that love God.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, let's do a comparison about the chances of people who have kidney problems abroad and those back here in Nigeria in terms of government response abroad and government response back home.
The truth of the matter is our country is blessed if we really want to do better for the health sector. But there, the government take full responsibility, because the treatment for dialysis is very expensive. Very expensive. One dialysis, I think, is cost them about 9,000 euros.
Wow.
Just one.
Wow.
Because they privatize it to a company who take care of it.
Everything.
So your insurance, we have to, you know, pay them. The drugs, and the drugs are very, very expensive. You have to take your drugs regularly. Like me, after the transplant, I still have my drugs here now, which I have to follow time to time to make sure that I don't mix it.
Drugs is probably, taking of drugs probably will be for life, or as long as the person
No,
exists.
depends. It depends on how the match. When the match, the body system has already adapted to the kidney,
then
you can stop some of them.
Yeah, you said something about having 2 kidneys failing. That was your own case.
Yes.
Tell us something about that.
Yeah, what happened was that the good thing about it, I was having a female doctor that was very, very concerned about my issue, because when I got there, in my country, we don't know what's kidney issue then, and the doctor was telling me the problem that you have is your kidneys are not working very well, show to the exams and all that. It's not doing very properly. You have to do something very, very urgent about it, because sometimes they will tell me to come every 3 months. I don't go because I went there to look for money. So I said, how will I go to the hospital 3 months, this, so
you're more concerned about the money?
Yes, every Africans that is like a lady that came, that was having the same similar issue with me. She came and I told her, this procedure, you have to educate yourself properly, because there's a class where they will tell you how the kidney works, what you need to do. They will educate you. So this lady was a Benin woman, which was not too interested. But after 1 year, she died of it. So I saw a lot of people who died in the process. During the dialysis, they collapsed because the blood, when the machine is drilling out the blood, is dragging with the heart. So because
The
the
heart could
machine
just back up.
yeah, the heart will just block. Sometimes when they take excess of water, there's cramp will come in, and there will not be enough water in your system. It will disorganize you. You might finish it and just stand up for. So there are people in place, assistants, who will ask you, are you okay? You know, everything.
Okay.
You know, they can bring some coffee for you to boost your sugar level, because once they are taking out the blood, they are drilling everything. The sugar level is low. You know, there are some food also that you don't even need to eat, that you eat when you have this problem. It can just take your life.
How long has it been since you had the transplant?
It's close to a year and close to 2 years now.
2 years.
And you're doing fine.
Yes, I'm very okay now.
So what's the plight of people having this challenge? I mean, from your interactions, things you've heard, probably had the opportunity of talking with one or two persons. What's the plight like for them? In terms of access to some of this things you talked
Yes,
about?
I talked to somebody yesterday in the US. He started some months ago, and he told me that it's very challenging. Because when I was going through the process, God told me that I went through this process to be an encourager to other people who go through it. So I told the man, I said, this situation is for you to just trust God, because it's only God that has the solution.
Absolutely.
Because when you are on it, you just fear that what I was just planning is how I can be able to accumulate some cash for my family, for my wife and children, in case anything happens. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is what people do. But I told the man yesterday, I said, what do? You have to be careful of what you eat.
Okay.
Don't take excess water in dialysis. It's very dangerous. What I take is this small bottle, 500 ml for the day. Because when you take too much of water, like 2 liters of water, it can block the heart, the lungs, because
during dialysis.
if you don't, for example, you do dialysis today, you can't do tomorrow.
Okay.
It's a day in, day out thing.
Okay.
So what you eat will remain you until the next one.
So you take them in little quantities.
Yeah, little, very little. When you want to take water, the doctor will tell you
The quantity to take.
Yeah, to take.
So no matter how thirsty you are, you must stick to that.
You must, because if you take more excess, it will block your breath, and once your breath is gone, you're gone. So except you have to call the emergency service, they will not come and drill it immediately. So you don't need to take excess water. So it's not after the transplant you can drink excess of water. Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic. If you just joined us, it's still TMI Monday. We're talking with Abraham Jackson, who is a kidney transplant survivor, sharing some thoughts with us on his experience, and so you can also learn from those experiences to become the best of you. But a very interesting part of the conversation that I want us to quickly have is, what's your advice to people? Because there are circumstances and situations, there are things that could predispose one to have kidney.
Yeah.
Were there things you were doing, you enjoyed doing excessively, or what have you, that you think they have brought you into that condition?
Okay, before I say that, one of the most important aspects of dialysis is how to get your vein. If you look at my hand now, all these things you are seeing, they just cut you. Just
to get vein?
To get vein,
really?
Yes. Yes, now.
Is this unique to a kidney patient, or this is...
No, it's because you cannot be putting needle on the vein direct. So they have to create an access which they cannot just be doing all the time. So if you put your hand here now, you see the thing is still working, because it's this thing that will be forcing the blood out of
What
you.
is there something inside there?
Yeah, there's some. Just touch here now. You see that it's making some.
Yes, it's like a vibration.
Yeah, it's like a vibration.
Yes.
They constructed it so that
so it's inside. It's
yeah,
like a vibe.
Yeah, it's like they just use your vein to connect it so that the force will be bringing out the fluid
from your system.
From my system. And sometimes when they do it, it might not work. They have to cut another place. They just cut people as if, they were just cutting and cutting.
But it's on the treatment and for you to survive.
Yeah, because without that, you cannot get
have access to your system.
That is one of the most difficult aspects. When you don't have a wound, they will just tear you and sometimes they have to look for a way. There are some people, they put a pipe here, the pipe will long down, then they will not be tying it. There was a time with the pipe, you cannot even take your bath. My wife has to assist me to do most of the things, yes. So the advice I want to give is...
Yeah, because I was talking about you.
Personal experience, I must be very honest with you, is for us to stay away from alcohol, because I used to take, before I give my life to Christ, I take a lot of alcoholic drinks.
Okay.
Yeah, alcoholic drinks, and you know, sometimes
you used to booze a lot.
A lot
and
of it.
Probably you used to club a lot.
I club a lot,
okay.
But by the grace of God now,
that is in the past.
Yes, they are in the past. So with the experience, that is why I told you the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 28 told us that everything works together for good for they that love God. All those experiences, when I was in Nigeria, I used to go to club with friends. I can drink a lot, and drink destroy kidneys like nothing else. Then another thing is untreated infections. Then high blood pressure is dangerous. You have to put your high blood pressure to a level, you know, to make sure that it doesn't.
So if we're looking at it that there seems to be high incidence of kidney failures back here in the country, you are saying that one of the major predisposing factors is overuse of alcohol.
Yeah, if you look at what happened, anywhere I go to in Benin, it's just
lounge, bar.
Yeah, that's it. People drink a lot, enjoy their life is good, but they should stay away from alcohol a little bit, because alcohol destroys your cells organ. They even warn you, don't take alcohol, don't smoke when you are in these conditions, but many people still go ahead to do them. And in the process, what helped me was, I was a Christian, I was able to manage everything. I don't take alcohol, I don't smoke, you know. So those things will help you. If not, it will destroy other organs. There are organs that works with the kidney that can be affected.
So now, no booze for you?
No, not at all.
Nothing, just a sip.
No, not at all. No. If you want to live for your family, you have to keep away from them. Then another thing is fruits. A lot of people like fruits. The only fruit that is allowed when you are in dialysis is apple.
Okay, apple. Okay.
Only apple.
But for someone who hasn't had, is not in that condition, fruits is healthy for you.
Yes, like, you know, the problem, when your kidneys start having problem, your potassium becomes very much. When you take fruits like banana, is a problem.
Okay.
Oranges that produce all those things, you don't need them, because it will become an excess thing, because before the kidney used to filter it and take but right now it's not doing that, so you have to help yourself. It is only apple that you can eat that does not have a problem.
Let's quickly conclude. What's your advice to government in terms of helping those who are having kidney problem? What's your advice to government?
And the healthcare sector.
Yes, if you come down to Europe, they are so very much encouraging. You know, when I went to one of the hospitals to do my COVID test, because I have to do there and book to do here. During the process of my transplanting, I did more than hundreds of COVID tests because the hospital where they do transplanting, because I live in a highland called Pescara, that highland where earthquake happens in Italy that year, L'Aquila, that is where I did the transplanting. So in that environment, you need to be very careful, you know. People that go around where they do such things should be persons who are 100% okay. Because somebody that have fever, have cough, you cough there. Somebody that did a transplant, they are just like a newborn baby. So before you can go in, you have to do, you know, I was going and I was doing the COVID test every minute. But if you look at in Benin, for example, people don't wear their mask, people just go to party. In Italy, they still observe those social distance. You have to put on your mask.
Maybe because, you know, this is Niger. I mean, they say this COVID thing is not for Niger, as it were. Yeah, that's what they say. And then if you look at the numbers, it tends to suggest that exactly.
I believe because in the summer over there, the thing will reduce. Here is hot. You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't think COVID can survive it. That is the only, like there right now, it's very cold, and it's like the cold give COVID a lot of energy.
Okay.
That is why it's like that. So my advice to the government is to try to see how they can assist people on dialysis, because the psychological effect in their lives alone is something that they need, you know, follow up. Even because I heard that they even pay. I don't pay. They even pay me for it. So you know what it means.
So that's the difference between what obtains there and what obtains here.
If, for example, let me just give you a story. If I said, okay, I can't do it again, this thing is off me, they will send their police. They will come to me and start begging me that you have to save your life, please. You don't have to do this. Yeah, it's very important. The police will come and start begging you. Why can't you just have to take care of yourself? When they see that problem, they will send the social service to come
and engage you.
To engage me. Do you have financial issues? Okay. What do you want? You know. Then they will call, like here now. We have a local government chairman that we look into your family affair. If it, you know, they bring things for you. They have what we call Caritas. They're a charity organization. We come, bring food for your families, bring a lot of things for you to assist so that you don't have that psychological issues. So my advice for the government, because I know that to pay for the treatment, if they, you know, for example, like churches too, I heard that some churches have those machines to assist people. If the church can also come in to support the government to make it easy. Because over there, the Catholic support the government. Okay. So that is why they work together. When the government is having difficulties, they call the churches and they work together. Okay. If you are living around this Oluku now, you have that, there is a priest that will always come to you if you have anything. Problem. Then the government will play their role, the church will play their role. But here is different.
Okay, thank you very much, Abraham Jackson. Thank you for your time with us today on the show this morning on ITV. We just hope that the authorities will look at the issue of the plight of patients with kidney challenges and find how they can be ameliorated. I mean, we know where we are, a developing nation, but these things are doable. Yes, they are doable. Yeah. I mean, we can do these things if we just put our minds into it. And
if the government is interested in
these
things.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we'll take a short break. Jackson, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you so much, sir.
We'll take a short break and then we'll be back with the rest of the show. Don't go away.